So, an issue in the Black community is a lot of like apathy towards the political process, right? Like a lot of people are completely checked out because they feel that nothing changes, and things like that. What would you say to Black people in Los Angeles in terms of why they should be invested in the Los Angeles sheriff's race?
Well, I think law enforcement and the Black community have been you know, had some struggles here recently and for a very long time, and that's putting it mildly.
Right.
Here with the sheriff's department, they can have input. They can have input on who's the sheriff. Now, they may not have a lot of input on who's the police chief of Gardena PD or Long Beach PD or Inglewood PD, but the sheriff, they get a vote, they get a say, and we need to educate them on that. A lot of people just don't know. They
Mhm.
don't know that they get to vote for the sheriff, and so um, if they don't do anything else, they should say who they don't want. Because if you don't get out and get involved, you're just going to get who you get,
Right.
and then you just got to deal with it. At least be part of the process, and that's huge. And I think we need to get that message out.
Definitely. And I encourage Black people to definitely be involved in the political process because I'm seeing a lot of different groups swaying the political field in LA. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we are not involved a lot of times in the process outside of like our older Black folks. But yeah, millennials get active. So let's talk a little bit about your introduction into law enforcement. You started with the Compton Police Department in the early 90s. What were some of your motivations behind going into law enforcement?
I honestly, growing up, I didn't want to be in law enforcement. So
Mhm.
my mom worked right here at Compton Courthouse. I mean,
Oh,
before they
wow.
even built this courthouse here, I remember as a kid coming when it was just a 1 or 2 story building. My dad was a Compton police officer.
Oh, wow.
Um, so growing up, I thought I wanted to be an attorney because I seemed to always be around the law. She worked there, and I remember sitting in her courtrooms and watching the judges and the process and everything take place. Um, but somewhere along the line, as I got older, and I was going to school and I worked for a law firm. I said, this is not what I want to do because to me, it didn't feel like I was really helping people. It didn't feel like I was really doing anything, and maybe I was in the wrong aspect of law. And being a young man, I felt like, what, I want to do more.
Mhm.
And I really thought that I would get into law enforcement,
Mhm.
make my contribution, learn as much as I could from the law enforcement side, and then go back to school and maybe become an attorney. But I got into law enforcement. I never looked back.
Mhm.
I mean, just the impact that you can have. I really see that, the reality of it is there's thousands of good women and men out there that do a good job every day. But we are tainted and our reputation is broken from a few. That's a few too many. But I think for me, the introduction was just really getting out there and seeing the impact, and seeing people say thank you and
Mhm.
helping.